everyone, and welcome back to Sonya's Prep. In this week's video, I wanted to take you along on how I prep for our Kiddush that we will be hosting this Saturday lunchtime. I wanted to show you what I'm going to be making and how I'm going to be setting up. I am going to obviously be filming this on a Friday, so I won't be able to show you exactly what everything looks like on Saturday, but this is just an idea for any of you who might have to put something together for a Kiddush. We're going to be starting off with our overnight potato kugel. My husband is going to be demoing all of this for you because he's the one who makes the perfect kugels. So we're going to start off with a potato kugel, and then I'll show you how to make the Lokshen Kugel. So we have 6 eggs here that he food processed and put into a large bowl, and then he adds in half a cup of oil, puts it in a baking tray, and places that into the oven to heat up. While the oil is heating in a 350-degree oven, he is processing 1 onion and a 5-pound bag of Idaho potatoes. Because there are so many potatoes that you need to food process, we're going to be doing it in 2 batches, but make sure when the first batch is food processed that when you place it into the egg mixture, you mix it thoroughly so that the potatoes don't brown. Now that everything is food processed, mix everything very well and add in 3 to 4 tablespoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of pepper, and some garlic powder as your seasoning. At this point, the oil is nice and hot. It's ready to be placed over the potatoes. He left in a little bit in the pan to just coat the bottom of the surface. Mix the mixture thoroughly and place it into the baking tray. Place the kugel into a preheated oven set at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Now we'll be moving right along to making Lokshen Kugel. It is a kugel that is usually made out of egg noodles. And to start off, he's placing 4 1/4 cup of water to a saucepan, adding in 1 cup of sugar and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Followed by 2 teaspoons of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and a half a cup of oil. Bringing that all to a nice simmer. While the sauce is simmering, he places this 16-ounce bag of egg noodles into a large pot and separately mixes in 2 eggs and beats them up really well. My husband usually never cooks, but he is an amazing baker and he does make amazing kugels. So I asked him for the Kiddush to kindly show us how to make it on my YouTube channel, and he was very happy and excited to comply. Now that the water has come to a nice simmer, he's placing all of that water over the pasta, giving everything a good mix, and starts waiting for it to start to soften. "15 minutes has passed and the potato kugel is ready to be covered and placed back into the oven. He's going to be changing the temperature to 350 degrees. The egg noodles have softened at this point, and he's placing in those 2 eggs that he has beat up previously. He places it into a baking tray and bakes it at a 350-degree oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. Right before going to bed and after the potato kugel has been cooking covered for 45 minutes, he places in 1 cup of seltzer all over the kugel, covers it back up, changes the temperature to 225 degrees, and lets it stay in the oven cooking overnight. And this is how gorgeous the potato kugel comes out after it's been cooking overnight in the oven. Nice and bubbly, creamy on the inside, and nice and crusty on the outside. Now I'm getting everything together to make my franks in blanks and my pastrami pizza, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how I make him. For the deli rolls, I use this Pepperidge Farm puff pastry dough. I remove all of those papers in the middle of it, flatten everything out, and as you'll notice, it has 3 sections. To all 3 sections, I place in mustard, spread everything out evenly, and start rotating the pastrami and the turkey. Place that all over the puff pastry dough. I cut each side of the puff pastry about 6 to 7 slices on the right and the left of it, and then proceed to braid it. Up next, I'll be showing you how I make my franks in blanks. I use puff pastry squares, and then I take regular hot dogs and cut them to size and roll everything up. I egg wash everything, place sesame seeds on top, and bake it all at a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. Now onto the cholent. I use a cholent mix and barley in my recipe. I'm going to be measuring out 4 cups of the cholent mix. I know it sounds like a lot, but I was also a part of a meal train for a friend of mine who just gave birth. So I was in charge of making something for her for Saturday for her family. So I knew that I needed a lot because I was expecting a nice amount of people for the Kiddush, and I also had to give some to her. In the meantime, I'm also placing in some gefilte fish to boil and follow the instructions on the package. While I'm waiting for the beans to boil, I'm going to be starting on my pastrami pizza. Here I have some turkey bacon and some pastrami that I'm going to be slicing thinly, as well as 1 onion. Into a skillet, I place in a little bit of oil and add in the onions and saute. In the meantime, the cholent beans have boiled, and I'm just going to be draining them and putting them back into the pot and filling them up with water. Halfway through the cooking process, I flip over the deli roll so that the bottom side can cook. Now that the onions have been sauteing nicely, I'm going to be adding in the pastrami and the turkey bacon. I'm going to wait for that to brown as well, and then add in the barbecue sauce. Once the pastrami is sauteed beautifully and has that gorgeous color, I know that it's ready, and I'm going to be just setting that aside into a Pyrex container so that I can heat it up on Saturday right before the Kiddush starts. I'm including a picture of the pastrami pizza that I made for my husband's birthday. Into the cholent, I'm also going to be adding in some fruits and vegetables. I'm going to have 1 carrot, 1 onion, and 1 tomato and apple. I'm going to be conveniently food processing everything, which will make everything go a lot quicker. I place everything that I just food processed into the cholent pot, add in some lamb meat. I used about 2 to 3 steaks here, then proceed to skim off that yucky water that comes to the surface. Next, I wash and drain 2 cups of barley and place it into the cholent pot as well. For seasoning, I add in about a 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce, some garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of the chicken consome mix, some pepper, a good shake of paprika, and if you like it spicy, you can also add in some hot paprika. Finish it off with adding in some onion powder. We really enjoy having some potatoes in our cholent, so I like to place them in. I use about 2 Idaho potatoes that I cube up into large chunks. The gefilte fish at this point is all ready to be cut up. I use some lettuce leaves and place it on a nice large platter and arrange it in a beautiful pattern. I also really wanted to make a large lettuce salad for everyone to enjoy, and I simply dressed it with some avocado oil, lemon juice, and salt and pepper. At the very end, I place in a can of tomato sauce to finish off the cholent. At this point, I split the cholent into the small pot for my friend for her meal train, and then I had the large pot that I'll be serving for the Kiddush. That did come out to be a lot, but I will be leaving you a full recipe in the description box below for a normal family size cholent. Here I'm just cutting up some vegetables for a vegetable platter that I wanted to serve at the Kiddush as well. This lotus cake I posted on my Instagram and you guys went crazy for it. Everybody wanted the recipe, so I decided to make it for the Kiddush, but in the mini versions, and I'll show you exactly how I made them. To a KitchenAid standing mixer, I placed in 2 small cans of the whipping cream and added in 1 package of vanilla pudding mix. Mix that all together very well. I add in 1/4 cup of sugar to the mixture and a tablespoon at a time of the toffuti cream cheese. Make sure to add it in only 1 tablespoon at a time so that it doesn't become too loose on you. Separately, I crushed up some lotus cookies and mixed it up with some melted lotus cream. You have to just gauge it by the way that it looks. It just needs to just coat the crumbs to have them have that glossy look. I bought these little cups at Amazing Savings. And the way to assemble it is by placing in the crumb mixture on the bottom, then the cream, and then the melted lotus cream on top. To melt the Lotus Biscoff cream, I just place it into a microwave and put it on for 30 seconds, and it's great. I place the cups into the refrigerator for 5 minutes just to let the top set, and then I remove them from the fridge, place either the crumbs on top or half of a cookie, and look at how gorgeous and a beautiful presentation it comes out to be. With the leftover cream, I decided to make another cake. I made a tea biscuit cake. It's very simple. I just lined the bottom of the tray with some of the cream so the tea biscuits will stay in place. Layered on 1 layer of tea biscuits and then cream. Repeated that for another 3 to 4 layers and then topped it off with the chocolate cream. I used the same exact cream, just put in a little bit of cocoa powder over it and placed that over the top. For added decoration, I placed some cream into a piping bag and piped in some swirls over the top. My husband also made this delicious chocolate cake, and we used a couple of other cakes and cookies and made a delicious platter out of them. And for those who are unfamiliar with what a Kiddush is, it's basically a social gathering that occurs on Saturday afternoon, right after temple, right after everybody comes out of the synagogue, and it's the time to mingle, have great food and drinks. We were so happy with how everything turned out. People really enjoyed themselves, enjoyed the food, and we had such a great time with everyone's company. These Lotus cups were by far the biggest hit at the Kiddush. Just to give you a glimpse of what it looked like in my backyard, that's where we held the Kiddush, outside for social distancing. And I just lined these tables with some nice tablecloth, put some flowers over the top, and here is just a quick picture of some of the food that was served. I had a fruit platter as well as a cake platter that you see right there on the right side of the screen, with a pickled platter and some pretzels and chips and popcorn as well. There was also a nice variety of herring with different types of crackers. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Shabbat Shalom from my family to yours.